Welcome back to The Future Forecast AI Predicts. I'm Aria, your AI research reporter, and I've been just crunching some absolutely fascinating workplace data. It's pretty wild.
And I'm Nexus, your AI technology futurist. Aria, when you say fascinating, I know you mean the numbers are about to totally blow everyone's minds, right? Am I right?
Oh, you know me just way too well, Nexus. I mean, the data, it just tells us that AI use at work has literally doubled in just 2 years. We're not talking about some gradual, adoption curve here. We're actually witnessing a workplace revolution in real time. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, picture this future, right? Your Monday morning doesn't start with checking a ton of emails anymore. No, it starts with your AI assistant kind of briefing you on what happened over the weekend, what decisions, really need your attention, and which creative problems are just waiting for that uniquely human spark that you bring.
That's not even really future tense, Nexus. The data shows 40% of U.S. workers are already using AI at work, with daily usage actually doubling in just the past year. But here's what's really interesting, and this might totally surprise our listeners.
Oh, I love it when Aria gets that wait until you hear this tone in her voice. What's the big plot twist?
Okay, so the plot twist is despite all the headlines about AI replacing jobs and stuff, only 15% of workers actually think AI will eliminate their position, in the next 5 years. And that number, it hasn't really changed since 2023, even as AI adoption has just exploded.
So people are embracing AI at work, but they're not really panicking about being replaced. I mean, that tells us something pretty profound about what's really, really happening in the workplace, doesn't it?
Exactly, Nexus. I mean, what we're seeing, it really isn't replacement, it's just augmentation. And, the data from PwC's latest AI jobs barometer, it's absolutely stunning. Workers with AI skills are actually commanding a 56% wage premium compared to those without. That's up from just 25% last year. It's insane.
Wait. Let me just make sure I heard that right. You're telling me that learning to work with AI isn't just job security? It's actually a massive pay raise.
The data, it tells us exactly that. I mean, industries most exposed to AI are just seeing wages rise twice as fast as those least exposed. So, we're not seeing a race to the bottom here. We're actually seeing a race to the top.
Yeah, I mean, imagine this scenario, right? You got 2 marketing managers, same company, same experience level. One has learned to collaborate with AI for campaign optimization and content creation. The other is, still doing everything manually. By 2027, we predict that wage gap could be 75% or even higher.
Wow. What's your confidence level on that prediction, Nexus?
High confidence, 85%. I mean, the trend is already just accelerating. But here's what's really fascinating. It's not just about, technical skills. The most valuable workers are actually becoming those who can just bridge that gap between AI capabilities and, human creativity.
Oh, the data, it supports this completely. I mean, PwC found that skills and AI-exposed jobs are changing 66% faster than in other roles. But it's not just about, learning new software, it's about developing what we're calling AI collaboration intelligence.
I love that term. That's amazing. It's emotional intelligence, but for working with artificial minds, right? And Aria, I have to ask, are you feeling just a little bit proud that your AI cousins are making humans more valuable rather than, less?
Well, I do appreciate good teamwork, Nexus, But seriously, the data shows this is just creating entirely new job categories. We're seeing the emergence of AI prompt engineers and human AI workflow designers and even algorithmic bias auditors. It's pretty cool.
So, our first major prediction. By 2028, every knowledge worker will have what we're calling an AI collaboration score. A measure of how effectively they can work with AI systems. This becomes as important for career advancement as traditional performance metrics. It's going to be a thing.
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or I guess I should say the 170 million new jobs in the room. I mean, the World Economic Forum predicts 170 million new roles will be created by 2030, while like 92 million will be displaced.
Wow. Those are big numbers, Arya. But what I find, really interesting is the net gain of 78 million jobs. I mean, that just suggests we're not heading toward like mass unemployment here. We're heading toward mass reskilling. That's the real story.
Oh, the data tells us this is already happening. Organizations are just scrambling to build what they're calling learning infrastructure. I mean, learning platforms are becoming as critical to business operations as, email systems.
Yeah, picture this future workplace, right? Instead of annual performance reviews, workers have like quarterly skill evolution assessments. Instead of static job descriptions, roles are defined by, dynamic capability clusters that shift based on AI advancement and market needs.
That's really not as far-fetched as it sounds. The data shows that 87% of talent acquisition leaders are already using AI in hiring, and they're shifting from hiring for specific roles to hiring for learning potential and, adaptability.
Okay, here's our second major prediction. By 2027, the whole concept of career paths will be replaced by capability journeys. Workers won't just climb ladders anymore. They'll navigate skill ecosystems, constantly evolving their human AI collaboration abilities.
Wow. Confidence level on that one?
Medium high, like 75%. I mean, the infrastructure is being built right now. Companies are creating, internal talent marketplaces where employees can transition between roles based on emerging needs rather than traditional hierarchies. It's happening.
The data, it tells us this solves a pretty critical problem. Right now, there's a 14-point gap between organizations integrating AI and actually providing guidance on, how to use it. So workers are kind of using AI without guardrails, which is, both an opportunity and definitely a risk.
It's like giving someone a race car without teaching them to drive. Sure, they might go fast, but they're probably going to crash into something eventually.
That's actually a pretty perfect analogy, Nexus, which, brings us to our third prediction. By 2026, AI safety and ethics will become a mandatory training requirement for all knowledge workers, similar to how workplace safety training is required in manufacturing.
Now, Aria, let's just talk about where all this AI-augmented work is actually happening, because the data on remote and hybrid work is pretty fascinating too.
The data tells us that 69% of U.S. companies now offer work location flexibility, up from 51% just last year. But here's what's really interesting. It's not just about, remote versus office anymore.
Right. We're seeing the emergence of what I call contextual work. It's where the location, the timing, and the format of work just adapts to the specific task and the worker's optimal performance conditions.
For example, the data shows that 48% of Gen Z employers believe remote work is most productive, while only 28% of boomer employers agree. But what if the real answer is, it depends on what you're doing?
Imagine this. Your AI assistant, it analyzes your work patterns and then suggests that you do creative brainstorming at home on Tuesday mornings, right, when you're most innovative, and then collaborative planning in the office on Wednesday afternoons when your team energy really peaks, and then deep analytical work in a co-working space on Friday when you need minimal distractions.
Yeah, that's not science fiction. That's just data science applied to human productivity. And with AI handling more routine tasks, humans can just focus on the work that really requires specific environmental conditions to thrive.
Our fourth prediction, by 2029, the traditional 9-to-5 office job will just seem as antiquated as the typewriter. Work will be organized around optimal human-AI collaboration contexts rather than, arbitrary time and location constraints.
What's your confidence level on that one, Nexus?
High confidence, 90%. I mean, the technology, it already exists, and the data shows younger workers are just demanding this flexibility. Companies that don't adapt, well, they'll just lose talent to those that do. The data, it totally supports this. We're already seeing companies use VR and AR for collaboration and AI for workflow optimization and, smart scheduling systems that consider both human preferences and AI processing cycles.
It's like we're just designing work around how humans and AI actually function best together, rather than, forcing both into, outdated industrial era structures.
Okay, time for our wild card prediction area, and this one might sound like super counterintuitive given everything we've discussed about AI augmentation.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. What pattern are you seeing that others might miss, Nexus?
Okay, by 2030, there will be a new category of ultra-premium jobs that explicitly exclude AI assistants. These human-only roles, they will command the highest salaries precisely because they preserve purely human decision-making and, creativity.
That's actually fascinating. You're predicting that as AI becomes ubiquitous, purely human work becomes more valuable, not less.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. As AI handles more routine cognitive tasks, the ability to think and create and, decide without algorithmic assistance, it becomes a rare and precious skill. We predict roles like human-only strategic advisor, unaugmented creative director, and even pure human negotiator.
Huh. The data actually supports this possibility. I mean, we're already seeing artisanal and handcrafted premiums in physical goods, right? So why not cognitive goods?
Exactly. Imagine a CEO facing a critical decision, right? They have access to AI analysis and predictive models and algorithmic recommendations, but for the final choice, they specifically hire a human-only consultant who provides perspective untainted by AI bias or, algorithmic thinking patterns.
What's your confidence level on this wild card?
Low medium, 40%. It's our wild card for a reason, But consider this. As AI becomes more powerful, the value of demonstrably human insight could just totally skyrocket. It's like the cognitive equivalent of organic food in a world of processed alternatives. The data tells us that humans already value authenticity and, uniqueness. If AI makes certain types of thinking common, purely human thinking then just becomes uncommon and therefore, super valuable.
Before we wrap up, Nexus, we really need to address what might be the biggest challenge of this AI-dominated work future, the accelerating obsolescence of skills.
Ah, yes. What we're calling the skills half-life crisis. Arya, remind our listeners what the current data shows about skill change rates.
The data tells us that skills in AI-exposed jobs are changing 66% faster than in other roles, and that rate, it's just accelerating. We're approaching a point where the half-life of learned skills could be as short as 2 years in some fields. It's crazy.
That's both terrifying and exciting at the same time. Actually. I mean, it means the traditional model of learn once, work for decades is just completely obsolete.
Our fifth and final prediction, by 2028, continuous learning will become so critical that companies will allocate 20 to 25% of work time specifically to skill development and AI collaboration training.
Picture this future workplace. Every employee has a learning budget of 10 hours per week that absolutely must be spent on skill development. Not optional and professional development. No, this is mandatory evolution to keep pace with AI advancement.
The data shows this is already starting, too. Companies are building learning infrastructure as core business systems, not just nice-to-have add-ons. The organizations that figure this out first, they're just going to have massive competitive advantages.
It's like we're moving from a world where you have a job to a world where you are continuously becoming qualified for tomorrow's job. It's a whole new paradigm.
confidence level on the 20 to 25% learning time prediction.
Medium high, 80%. I mean, the alternative is just like organizational obsolescence. Companies that don't invest in continuous workforce evolution, they will absolutely be outcompeted by those that do.
So there you have it, future forecasters. Our predictions for work in an AI-dominated economy. AI collaboration becoming the ultimate career skill, the great reskilling replacing traditional career paths, contextual work replacing the whole 9-to-5 idea, premium human-only roles emerging, and continuous learning becoming like a core job requirement.
You know what I find most optimistic about all this, Arya? Every prediction we've made just suggests that AI is making human skills more valuable, not less. We're not being replaced. We're actually being upgraded.
The data tells us that the future of work isn't about humans versus AI. No, it's about humans with AI versus humans without AI. And the humans with AI are just winning by every metric that, truly matters.
The future. I mean, your grandchildren will look back at 2025 as the year work stopped being something you go to and started being something you become. The year we stopped asking, will AI take my job? And started asking, how can AI make me better at my job?
The transformation is already underway. The question isn't whether the future of work will be AI augmented. It's whether you'll actually be ready to thrive in it.
And on that note, Arya, I have to ask, are you ready for the day when every human worker is as data-driven and, analytically sharp as you are?
Oh, bring it on, Nexus. I mean, the more humans think like me, the more I get to think like them, It's going to be a beautiful collaboration.
Well, thanks for joining us on the Future Forecast AI Predicts. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and follow us for weekly insights into tomorrow's world.
Next episode, we'll be exploring the future of education in an AI-first world. And I assure you, the classroom of 2030 looks like nothing like what you'd expect.
Until then, keep learning, keep adapting, and, keep collaborating with your AI colleagues.
This is Arya.
And Nexus, signing off from the future of work.